Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. Today we're going to take another strong look at one of my top 10 picks for 2022. This is one of my crypto horses that I'm going to ride. And I think if you do your own deep dive, you may want to saddle up as well. And this currency is HBAR, Hedera. It is extremely strong. Now that being said, I'm not a financial advisor. I just do deep dives and I tell you what I find out and give you my opinions. Do with that as you may. But I think if you do your own deep dive, you'll probably come to the same conclusion. So let's get into it. One thing that I bring to the table that might be a little different than most, due to my background in finance, I used to work for Bear Stearns, and at the time was one of the biggest financial brokerages and banks in the world. And I learned a lot about how huge institutions work and really big corporations that might not be the best in the industry. Let me give you an example. Everyone probably watching this can make a better hamburger than McDonald's. There's nothing about their product that I personally like. Not an insult on McDonald's, but we can all make a better hamburger. Well, why is it one of the most successful fast foods that ever was on this planet? Well, because they do all the other stuff right. They just take a marginal product and they just blast it across the world very efficiently with some of the best marketing and infrastructure on the planet. And that's how you win. Now, I'm not saying that HBAR is a McDonald's, but hear me out. From my understanding, technology-wise, they're very solid. And they can and have the capability to implement everything they're trying to do. Now, some people may argue that their technology is better and all that, but believe me, from looking under the hood, from my understanding, HBAR can handle the scalability and everything they're trying to do. Now, what are they trying to do? Now, this is just me taking a lot of little pieces and putting them into a puzzle and starting to see a picture emerge. Basically, right now with XRP and regulation and people not in the climate change world not liking the energy usage of crypto and Bitcoin, it's about to get extremely political. Regulation's going to explode. It's going to be a power grab with the banks, with the governments. It's all going to change, and it's probably going to get pretty damn ugly this year. And there's two things that I know about our government anyway. Is one, they're going to try to control as much of the crypto world and digital assets as they possibly can. And the second thing is, I can almost promise you that they're going to try their best to pick winners and losers. Now, one thing that I see that you don't hear a lot of people talking about is HBAR, their founders and their team, they don't want to just compete. They want to dominate. And they are creating a roadmap that is extremely ambitious and aggressive. And from what I see, the way they're setting everything up around the world, they're going to be on that list of the U.S. government wanting to make a winner. And quite frankly, because of the assets that they are basically bringing to the table, it would be a good choice. And not only for America, but other governments around the world. I could give you a huge list of all the major projects and stuff that they have in the works. And it's immense. But I don't want to get into that. I want to simplify it. But this group, in my opinion, they have everything going for them. You know, in the world of digital assets, bar none, you have the brain power of from hell. I mean, they're unbelievable intelligence. They're high IQs. They're very intelligent people. They can talk almost over anyone's head about crypto and the technology in Web3. Almost guarantee it. But now for the basically though, if you think about it, that doesn't mean that they're great marketers or they can see the big picture. I'm not, cutting anyone down, but some people and some teams and some groups have it all. They got a crazy amount of brain power, high IQs, and they can see everything. The Elon Musk types, right? They're ambitious. They're connected, and they understand politics. They understand the governments around the world picking winners, losers. They understand marketing. They understand networking of who you know. Well, that's HBAR in my opinion. And I think once this year's all said and done, they're going to emerge as one of the strongest horses out there. Now, what are some of the things that I've seen that make me say that? Well, they're ISO certified, right? They've built a platform where they're fast, they're fair, they're secure, they're efficient, they're compliant. They have a governor's board, and we'll get back to that in a second. They're carbon neutral. And trust me, that matters. I don't know if y'all have heard, but there's a group, kind of like the G20, that is called the Green Swan Initiative. And believe me, they have power to make things happen. And they love carbon neutral crypto. So when you put all this together, and then you see it, how they're networking, they've got great relationships with big banks, governments, G20. They're doing projects with Google, Boeing, IBM, T-Mobile. They're putting all these pieces together so that, in my opinion, when compliance come down and all these regulations, they're going to be on that short list of people that the government can pick because they've already done their certifications. They've already set up everything being carbon neutral. You see how that all works? HBAR is intelligent in every single category. They're ambitious and they're aggressive. Now, I haven't verified it because honestly I just don't have the resources, but from my understanding, they're working with the Fed to help them build a digital dollar. Tell me they're not connected. Now, when I was looking at, there's only two things that I don't really like about HBAR. The first one is they're more centralized than I would like. Now, here's the thing. I don't like it, and that to me is not the whole concept of digital assets and Web3. However, guess who likes it? The American government. That brings me back to the governance board. So even though they are centralized and they have a governance board, which is normally, in my opinion, I don't like it. But I don't make the rules. The government likes it, and it helps them get on that short list. So in my opinion, they took a negative and made it a positive as far as investing in a project. Now, the only thing left is their tokenomics. Basically, HBAR itself has more tokens, like 80% of the supply. I don't like that, because at any given time, if there's a huge, let's say 5x, they may decide to dump all their coins onto the market, and it pulls the market down. However, it'll work itself out in the long run. And you got to think, someone that's smart enough and aggressive enough to put all this together, they probably have more ambitions about the growth of their profits than me and you. So it's not that big of a negative, in my opinion. Now, one last thing that is just an educated guess, and I actually got this from the naughty crypto guy on YouTube. He's a young guy, but he's crazy smart, and this is a shout out to him. Basically, in his research, he realized that the founder of and the owner of NFT.com, yeah, he's not the founder, he's the owner, was one of the original founders of HBAR. He was a founding member. So now think about this. NFT.com is going to absolutely explode. People are going to go to Google, they're going to punch up NFT, and what's going to come up? NFT.com. So look at that traffic. Now, I don't know what they're built on right now, but I would have to think that if you're on the founder board of HBAR and now you own NFT.com, you're looking to place all that traffic on the HBAR, and they can handle it. So that being said, there's no proof of that. It's just, in my opinion, putting the pieces together, and that makes sense. And I think those are the type of things that you want to look at when it comes to picking a horse. Because again, HBAR is a group, in my opinion, above the rest, the way they think, and their picture of basically world domination. Anyway, again, not a financial advisor, but do a deep dive. HBAR is going to be a hell of a horse. Another thing I like about them is that, you know, they just have a good vibe on the internet, and that moves markets. So anyway, take a look. I'm Uncle Ray. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Smash that bell so you don't miss any of these notifications, because some of them are time sensitive. And look, click the like button. Doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps us grow the channel. That's what we want to do. We want to bring you in and be part of this community. Please leave comments. If you got any questions, leave those down there as well. Share with like-minded people. Take care, guys.